Extravagance, luxury, and class are the usual terms that people use when referring to Rolex watches. With their exquisite designs, reliable movements, and lavish builds, it's no wonder why Rolex watches are loved by high-profile individuals from around the world. Some of the famous names that have worn Rolex pieces include John F. Kennedy, Warren Buffett, Martin Luther King, Elvis Presley, and many more. Indeed, given the steep price tags of Rolex watches, it makes sense why big earners tend to be the ones who own these classic timepieces. However, many of us have often wondered why Rolex timepieces are so expensive in the first place. Are their high price tags justifiable, or are they just for show? Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we're going to tell you what makes these Rolex watches so valuable that they are so sought after much more than the competition. But before we start, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more luxury content. Before further ado, let's begin. Number 1. Designing Rolex watches costs a lot. First of all, it should be noted that watchmaking is a meticulous and tiring process which requires a lot of money. Rolex watches are a prime example of that. The prestigious brand has its very own research and development department. This is a highly professional facility that has all the latest groundbreaking tools and avant-garde equipment. It uses these tools to craft highly functional and aesthetically pleasing timepieces. Not only that, but Rolex is also constantly innovating new manufacturing methods and techniques to stay ahead of the watchmaking game. Moreover, Rolex only hires highly experienced and trained scientists in their laboratories. They do this in order to maximize research on various lubricants and oils for their machines. As a result of all the aforementioned factors, the in-house development costs that go into the craftsmanship and design of Rolex watches and movements is said to be very high. One of the finest technology advancements the luxury Swiss label takes great pride in is a sturdy, scratch-proof and fade-proof watch crystal with a light green outline. Providing great legibility, the green edges of the crystal gleam brightly in low-light conditions. As proof of Rolex's passion for Swiss craftsmanship, it took them many years to develop and finally master the art of making this stunning proprietary crystal. Today, the green sapphire crystal still takes weeks to produce and is only available on Milgauss models. Number 2. Rolex watches can stand the test of time. If you want a timepiece that can withstand any type of wear and tear, you will never find anything better than the Rolex. Extreme changes in humidity, movement, temperature, and altitude could severely damage other watches, especially low-quality ones. The same is not true for Rolex. This is a large part due to the reasons we have already discussed in the previous points. Rolex's use of premium oyster steel and constant innovation of new technology helps make its watches stronger and longer lasting. One example of this unparalleled recognition is Sir Edmund Hillary. Hillary was the first person to ascend Mount Everest, and he did so while wearing a Rolex Oyster Perpetual watch on his wrist. Then came Ed Viesturs, who in 1994 climbed the Earth's highest mountain while wearing a Rolex Explorer 2. Both these men's Rolex watches survived their experiences in perfect working condition, which is a great testimonial to their durability and longevity. In fact, Viesturs still wears his Rolex Explorer 2 today to commemorate his incredible feat. Number 3. The movements are assembled by hand. Rolex does use some machines to produce their watches, but the tasks they perform are typically very simple ones. Some of these simple tasks include filling, sorting, and cataloging. The more complex jobs like assembling bracelets and watch movements are actually all done in-house and by hand. This gives the brand more freedom in designing their watch engines and developing their own standards. After the actual production is completed, each watch is then double-checked and tested by the craftsman in charge. This ensures that the high quality of each Rolex piece is maintained. Such hard work and dedication is absolutely priceless when you think about it. Looking at Rolex's extensive catalog, you will notice that almost all of their movements that power its watches are certified by the Control Official Suisse des Chronometers. Better known as the COSC, this independent, non-profit organization aims to uphold the top-notch standards of the Swiss watchmaking industry. In particular, this organization is responsible for validating and testing the accuracy of watches made in Switzerland. The fact that almost all Rolex watches are COSC certified proves that these timepieces are not only versatile and chic, but also dependable and highly functional. Number 4. The brand uses precious materials. One thing you might not know about Rolex is that it is backed by an army of gemologists. These are professionals who specialize in testing and incorporating precious metals such as diamonds and gold into Rolex watches. Furthermore, the brand also employs conventional jewelers to help them handpick and handset diamonds and other precious stones precisely into their watches. In addition, unlike many other watchmakers, Rolex is probably one of the few brands that produces timepieces made out of gold. Yes, genuine, solid gold instead of paint or gold plating. The brand takes care to specifically refine 18K white, ever rose, and yellow gold for their timepieces. The use of real, solid gold explains why some Rolex gold models are so expensive. Number 5. Rolex watches have impressive water resistance capacities. Another factor that contributes to the high price tag of Rolex watches is their water resistance ratings. Some models are even able to withstand water pressure of up to a whopping 300 meters. As part of the production process, all Rolex dive watches are first tested under pressurized tanks before being tested in actual watches. For instance, to test the deep sea watches, Rolex uses high-pressure water tanks that are redeveloped by the Compagnie Maritime d'Expertise. This is a French-based diving company that commissioned Rolex to craft precise and high-performing dive watches. One watch with a jaw-dropping water resistance rating is the Rolex Submariner, which also boasts a sleek black and silver aesthetic. Priced at about $8,540 US, it comes in at 41mm oyster steel case and a 3-link bracelet. As a luxury dive watch, this watch has a rotatable unidirectional bezel, the Cerachrom insert in black, and the luminous triangle at the 12 o'clock position. Aside from housing an automatic movement, with 70 hours of power, the Submariner watch is also water resistant up to depths of 300 meters. So after knowing all these facts about the most renowned watch brand in the world, do you think the high price is justified? Tell us in the comments below. And if you're interested in knowing more about Rolex watches, watch our video on the Paul Newman Daytona.